issues that can create. Now, when processing gifts, an agency that receives any gift will need to develop procedures to cover processing in some detail. Like when I was with the county, all materials came pre-processed. So in order for us to actually get something processed, we would have to send it to the vendor at our cost, pay a special fee to have it cataloged, and then pay to have it shipped back to us. So in many cases, it really was less cost effective than actually buying something new if possible. You also had the tracking of it, or the making sure that it was actually needed or selected for the collection, the record keeping of the receipt of it, that it was sent off, and when it was actually then received back to the library. So in a lot of cases, most gifts were not actually used in the collection. Typically they were donated to the friends. Only in very rare circumstances was the item worthy of actually adding to the collection. The qualities needed to be successful in the gifts and giving business are similar to those required for traditional library service, with some technical skills added. Some of the skills needed are common sense, ability to work with difficult people, to be able to calm them down when needed, ability to create diplomatic correspondence, patience, attention to detail in record keeping, knowledge of collection gaps and strengths, and ability to make decisions, explain them, and stand by them. Now also there's taxes. Basically, many donors are concerned with claiming the value of gifts for states and federal income tax. Over the years, the IRS has created rules that must be followed. The agency receiving a gift cannot value it. Only a qualified independent appraiser can do this. So basically, we leave it up to the donor to really pursue that. There is an IRS publication determining the value of donated property that's helpful and needs to be available to donors when needed. Now, in some cases, like with Mesa Public Library, they've actually gone out and solicited for materials. This is a similar order to acquisitions, such as requesting free materials for the organization. Sometimes publishers are contacted for soliciting individual items, collections, or money. A variety of media may be consulted or used, such as an agency newsletter, individualized mailings, a full-fledged campaign with a kickoff dinner and considerable publicity. Individual contacts may include cold calls or publicity in local media, especially in the local newspaper. Usually a distinction is made between unsolicited versus solicited gifts. Unsolicited gifts are likely to require more attention. There needs to be a place where gifts can be collected, arranged, and reviewed. If many gifts are received, this may need to be a fairly large space. Those who work in a public service point need to know how to accept gifts, when to defer to a supervisor, and when to redirect the gift to another agency. A receipt for a large number of items, or type of items, needs to be issued when the gifts are received. The receipt will not include any indication of the value or condition of the items received. A more formal acknowledgement usually follows later. A form letter is used except in the case of substantial gifts. Memorials require notification of the family, of the individual commemorated, and perhaps others in the community. Accurate, complete records need to be kept for all gifts received. This should include a gift and donor database. Sometimes donors or members of the family may return years later and inquire about the status of a particular item. Now, selecting from among gifts items is somewhat like selecting approval books, except that there are many more rejections. Wounded and clearly unsuitable items are quickly removed. Some items may require the attention of a subject specialist. Normal collection development priorities and criteria are followed. Never select a gift item just because it's free. Items selected will be searched on the catalog to ensure that they are not an unneeded duplicate. If a duplicate, then the copy, be in the best condition, will be kept. Rejections are sent to disposal shelves. They may be discarded, offered to another agency, sold at a book sale, or sometimes sold to used book dealers. The agency book sale is the most likely way to dispense of materials. Book sales stimulate reading and book collecting in the community. Thus, many librarians prefer this method. However, problems occur when donors encounter their gifts at the sale. Items destroyed must be done in a certain way and provided in a private manner. Selections are sent to technical services to be added to the collection. Records must be kept on all items added to the collection. Cost effectiveness. While there are many anecdotes about gift materials, there is a little evidence about their cost effectiveness. It does seem reasonable that solicited gifts are more beneficial than unsolicited ones. Gift collections are more beneficial than individual gifts. The cost of gifts is mostly time and effort on the agency staff. Costs may be reduced by reducing the number of inappropriate gifts handled and by the use of volunteers. Reducing and standardizing processing steps will reduce cost. Having volunteers do much of the gift work will also reduce costs, such as in the case of Library Friends. A variety of incentives may be used to encourage gifts and giving. Public recognition is a major incentive for many. In some cases, this may be combined with a membership in an exclusive organization. If donors automatically become a member of something like a President's Club, it may be an appealing social event where recognition may be given to those who are members. Gifts or tokens may also be given to donors. For example, donors to an academic library may receive a gift of library circulation privileges. Donors to the public library might receive a pin or a certificate. There are also many other possibilities. Any important incentive for rare and valuable items is that they will be preserved and will be available for use in the future. For many ordinary items, the fact that others will be able to use and enjoy a work the donor no longer needs is a work the donor no longer needs is a pleasing incentive for the donation. Now, some libraries, which has been controversial, especially in some bad economic times, have actually sold off some of those donations in order to help balance the budget. Particularly, I know some libraries have sold off some of the first editions of local authors in order to help meet demands of budget crisis. When the gift is a collection rather than an item or two, the agency must determine if this is a subject appropriate gift. If this is especially true of a specialized collection. Questions considered may include